when I talk about community health, one of the aspects of that we do think about a lot, that I think about a lot, is not about politics. It's just like, how are we treating newcomers to the community?
Mm-hmm.
And so I can tell you what our ideals are, what our philosophy is, but do we live up to that? So, the ideal is you come to Wikipedia, we have rules. Like, one of our fundamental rules is ignore all rules,
Mm-hmm.
which is partly written that way because it kind of piques people's attention. Like, oh, what the hell kind of rule is that? But basically says, look, don't get nervous and depressed about a bunch of, what's the formatting of your footnote, right? So you shouldn't come to Wikipedia, add a link, and then get banned or yelled at because it's not the right format. Instead, somebody should go, oh, hey, yeah, thanks for helping, but, here's the link to how to format. If you want to keep going, you might want to learn how to format a footnote. And to be friendly and to be open and to say, oh, right, oh, you're new and you clearly don't know everything about Wikipedia. And, sometimes in any community that can be quite hard. So people come in and they've got a great big idea and they're going to propose this to the Wikipedia community and they have no idea. That's basically a perennial discussion we've had 7,000 times before. And so then ideally you would say to the person, oh, yeah, great, thanks. Like, a lot of people have, and here's where we got to, and here's the nuanced conversation we've had about that in the past that I think you'll find interesting. And sometimes people are just like, oh God, another one, who's come in with this idea which doesn't work and they don't understand why.
You can lose patience, but you shouldn't.
And that's kind of human, But I think it just does require really thinking, in a self-aware manner of like, oh, I was once a newbie. Actually, we have a great, I just did an interview with Emily Temple Woods, she was Wikipedian of the Year. She's just like a great, well-known Wikipedian. And I interviewed her for my book, and she told me something I never knew. Apparently it's not secret. Like, she didn't reveal it to me, but is that when she started at Wikipedia, she was a vandal. She came in and vandalized Wikipedia. And then basically what happened was she'd done some sort of vandalized a couple of articles, and then somebody popped up on her talk page and said, hey, like, why are you doing this? Like, we're trying to make an encyclopedia here, and this wasn't very kind.
Yeah.
And she felt so bad. She's like, oh, right, I didn't really think of it that way. She just was coming in as, she was like 13 years old, combative and, like having fun and trolling a bit. And then she's like, oh, actually, I see your point, and became a great Wikipedian. So that's the ideal, really, is that you don't just go troll, block, fuck off.
Yeah.
You go, hey, like, what gives, which is, I think, the way we tend to treat things in real life. If you've got somebody who's doing something obnoxious in your friend group, you probably go, hey, like, really, I don't know if you've noticed, but I think this person is actually quite hurt that you keep making that joke about them. And then they usually go, oh, you know what? I thought that was okay. I didn't. And then they stop, or they keep it up, and then everybody goes, oh, well, you're the asshole.
Well, I mean, that's just an example that gives me faith in humanity, that we're all capable and wanting to be kind to each other. And in general, the fact that there's a small group of volunteers that are able to contribute so much to the organization, the collection, the discussion of all of human knowledge it makes me so grateful to be part of this whole human project. That's one of the reasons that I love Wikipedia. It gives me faith in humanity.
Yeah. No, I once was at Wikimania's, our annual conference, and people come from all around the world, like really active volunteers. I was at the dinner. We were in Egypt, at Wikimania in Alexandria, at the sort of closing dinner or whatever. And a friend of mine came and sat at the table, and she's sort of been in the movement more broadly, Creative Commons. She's not really a Wikipedian. She'd come to the conference because she's into Creative Commons and all that. So we have dinner, and it just turned out I sat down at the table with most of the members of the English Language Arbitration Committee. Mm-hmm. And they're a bunch of very sweet, geeky Wikipedians. And as we left the table, I said to her, it's really like, I still find this kind of sense of amazement. Like, we just had dinner with some of the most powerful people in English language media, because they're the people who are like the final court of appeal in English Wikipedia. And thank goodness they're not media moguls, right? They're just a bunch of geeks who are just like well liked in the community because they're kind and they're thoughtful and they really, sort of think about things. I was like, this is great. Love Wikipedia.
It's like to the degree that geeks run the best aspect of human civilization brings me joy in all aspects. And this is true in programming, like Linux, like programmers, like people that kind of specialize in a thing, and they don't really get caught up into the mess of the bickering of society. They just kind of do their thing, and they value the craftsmanship of it, the competence of it.
If you've never heard of this or looked into it, you'll enjoy it. I read something recently that I didn't even know about, but like the fundamental like time zones, and they change from time to time. Sometimes a country will pass daylight savings or move it by a week, whatever. There's a file that's on all sort of Unix-based computers, and basically all computers end up using this file. It's the official time zone file, but why is it official? It's just this one guy.
Yeah.
It's like this guy and a community around him. And basically something weird happened and it broke something because he was on vacation. And I'm just like, isn't that wild, right? That you would think, I mean, first of all, most people never even think about like, how do computers know about time zones? Well, they know because they just use this file which tells all the time zones and which dates they change and all of that. But there's this one guy and he doesn't get paid for it. It's just he's like, with all the billions of people on the planet, he sort of put his hand up and goes, yo, I'll take care of the time zones.
And there's a lot of programmers listening to this right now with PTSD about time zones. And then there's on top of this one guy, there's other libraries, the different programming languages that help manage the time zones for you. But still, there's just within those, it's amazing just the packages, the libraries, how few people build them out of their own love for building, for creating, for community, and all of that.
Yeah,
it's I almost like don't want to interfere with the natural habitat of the geek, right? Like when you spot them in the wild, you just want to be like, well, careful.
Yeah,
that thing needs to be treasured.
I met a guy many years ago, lovely, really sweet guy, and he was running a bot on English Wikipedia that I thought, wow, that's actually super clever. And what he had done is, his bot was like spell checking, but rather than simple spell checking, what he had done is create a database of words that are commonly mistaken for other words. They're spelled wrong. So I can't even give an example. And so the word is, people often spell it wrong, but no spell checker catches it because it is another word. And so what he did is he wrote a bot that looks for these words and then checks the sentence around it for certain keywords. So in some context, this isn't correct, but buoy and boy. People sometimes type B-O-Y when they mean B-O-U-Y. So if he sees the word boy, B-O-Y, in an article, he would look in the context and see, is this a nautical reference? And if it was, he didn't autocorrect, he just would flag it up to himself to go, oh, check this one out. And that's not a great example, but he had thousands of examples. I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like I would have never thought to do that. And I'm glad that somebody did. And that's also part of the openness of the system. And also, I think, being a charity, being, this idea of like, actually, this is a gift to the world that makes someone go, oh, well, I'll put my hand up. Like I see a little piece of things that I can make better because I'm a good programmer and I can write this script to do this thing and I'll find it fun. Amazing.